Pro wrestling enthusiasts, it is Tuesday, June 12th, 2018, and you are locked into Smack Talk as we are live here at One Wrestling Video in association, of course, with OneWrestling.com. Yes, One Wrestling, the home of the legendary Mr. Bill Apter. For those watching around the globe, my name is Rick Vickrey, otherwise known across all social media platforms as at The Real RBV. And of course, I am not alone. Joining me, well, he is the senior video correspondent here at One Wrestling. He is the co-host of the Impact Attack. You know, of course, as presented by the Hameen Media Group. He is the reporter of the people. He is Big Ray Hernandez. Big Ray, welcome back to your show, brother.
Well, thank you so much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am the reporter of the people, the man on the planet, Big Ray, here to stay to talk a lot of wrestling today as we are on the cusp of one of the big pay-per-views for WWE this year, Money in the Bank 2018. We have a lot of stuff to go over, guys. We're going to try to run through this relatively quickly tonight because we got a lot to do tomorrow. Both of us, me and Rick. Rick got something to do. I got two freaking baseball games that I got to work tomorrow. We have a lot going on, but we are here to provide you our breakdown, and we're going to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view as we move along. And just off the top, I will let you guys know we are recording this 6/12/2018. It is Tuesday, and on Thursday night, Billy Ray Valentine and the Professor will be here on One Wrestling Video, and they, my friends, will be giving you full predictions for this year's Money in the Bank 2018. So again, look out for that. Follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling. Usually those links get tweeted out. Myself at Big Ray Show, and of course the real RBV, and of course Mr. Apter at After One Wrestling. Take it away, brother.
Well, I was going to say, just one other quick plug or suggestion for our great listeners, our great friends that run in the wrestling circles that you and I frequent. They're here at One Wrestling Video. They're listening to us. They're tuning into all the other great products. Make sure that, just below us to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's going to give them the alerts to all of the content, all the awesome content they're going to get here on YouTube with One Wrestling. Big Ray, you'd mentioned coming up this Thursday, One Wrestling is going to present a more of a prediction show. They're going to have a little fun with it, maybe how the card might play out. Our job here tonight, we're going to do something a little different than what we usually do. Instead of breaking it down into two segments where, one, we cover the red brand, one, we cover the blue brand, and we kind of just run through the gauntlet of the 5 hours. This week is about building to Money in the Bank. We had the go-homes. So what you and I are going to do, not necessarily step on toes with predictions, but we're going to run down the Money in the Bank card and then look back over the last two nights to see how effective the go-home was, and if they've given us a little bit of that extra excitement to get us ready for Sunday, my friend. Are you ready?
I am absolutely, positively, unequivocally ready. And by the way, as you're talking and getting this whole show all together, and as we move along and move forward, and as we continue on breaking this down, I'm going to be fooling around here in the chat. So I'm going to be talking to the people here. We have a bunch of people already on. Some of the regulars are here. So yeah, take it away, Rick. Let's do it.
Say, you know what? Just before we really get into the matches here, Monday and Tuesday, what were your overall thoughts without maybe touching on anything specifically? Did you enjoy them? Which one won the week for you?
Which show won? That's a really tough question, my friend. Which show won the week? If there was a show I enjoyed more, it would probably be Smackdown, which would be tonight.
I agree 100%.
I thought Smackdown was a better show, and the reason why I thought it was better was because we saw a few things that we've never seen before. There was, and obviously you have 3 hours on Raw to, promote your pay-per-view, to clean up, setting up the storylines going into the pay-per-view, so on and so forth. So, Raw was a hell of a lot of talking and some silly shenanigans here and there, but I quite enjoyed SmackDown. Well, I'll say it, not quite enjoyed, but I enjoyed SmackDown a hell of a lot more than I did Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw has become a little tedious for me to watch on a weekly basis, and sometimes it kind of it makes me feel sad that sometimes I have to wake up because I don't watch more Raw on Mondays. Let me just be very clear. I do too much on Monday, so I watch it Tuesday mornings, and sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh damn, I gotta watch 3 hours of Raw. Oh wait, I can fast forward through the commercials. Oh wait, I can fast forward through some of the matches. So that's what I do sometimes. But when we review these shows, I have to pay attention to the more important let's say, segments within the show. So anyway, so I try to leave it like this. Out of a 3-hour show, I'm really watching 2.5 hours. Rick, go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'm going to say, you said you're busy on Mondays. I'm going to go ahead and stooge that off. That means that Mondays are for the ladies when it comes to Big Red. That's his day for some loving. So he puts off his wrestling so that he can be fresh here on Tuesday nights. He has the product fresh in his mind. He's ready to talk about it. A couple quick thoughts. I never thought I'd say this. I miss David Otunga. Coach coming back was terrible on commentary. He really took away from the entire show, which was already a kind of a down show with, like, as you said, maybe too many skits, unnecessary verbal exchanges. The show just really seemed to drag out. And you mentioned you could fast forward through commercials when you watch on Tuesday. One thing of the both nights that really got to me, and I guess maybe they're trying to drive it home, they were running a lot of in-house commercials, especially during matches. That got to get to be a bit of an overkill. But let's jump right into the marquee matches as we're going to start talking about the action over the last 2 nights. And of course, that is both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank matches. On Raw, we get maybe some would say a rather interesting open. We haven't seen something like this. The competitors, all 8 of them, the men and women, open up in the ring on ladders, microphones in hand, then are joined by Kurt Angle out on the stage. What do you think about this?
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing out of this entire segment was the fact that Baron Corbin cut his hair. That was quite the anomaly. We've been wanting this to happen for a long time. Some people say that it should have been a hair versus hair thing. I guess the WWE could have done that. They could have did a hair versus hair match to make a storyline, make it important. But, then again, the people writing the show for the WWE don't really know wrestling. And that's, again, my humble opinion. So, so they just cut his hair on freaking YouTube or wherever it was, Instagram, and there it is. He looked great. I thought he looked 10 times better. I think he looks much younger without the greasy Hulk Hogan skullet. But yeah, you have everybody standing on the freaking the ladders. And then you have Braun Strowman up there, and he's basically the alpha male on the ladders. I do like, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just 'cause I'm the big guy, and usually not a lot of women are much bigger than me. But, I don't know, man. It's something between him and Alexa Bliss that when I see, some people may think it's stupid. I don't know. I kind of dig it, the whole Beauty and the Beast thing. I like the chemistry between them, if that makes any sense. I would just really hate to be that bedroom.
Well, I was going to say, what was their tag team name? Team Little Big?
Yeah, something like that.
When they were back in the mixed match challenge. And they even made mention of that. They played to, Bliss. She obviously knew that Braun is the alpha in that ring, so she puts over that he is her pick to win the men's, and Sasha jumps in and says her pick obviously was her partner in Finn. And then we end up just getting a lot of bickering here. The in-ring part kind of overshadowed, as you said, by Corbin's new do. I'm one of those that believe that would have enjoyed. I would like to see him and Braun possibly go into SummerSlam in a hair versus beard match, something that they could have done to prolong that and make some money off of it. But you know what? They had to make a move. They have him in this more professional role, and I think he looks so much better with the head shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then go ahead there.
No, I just wanted to give a quick shout out. We have quite a few people that have joined us here. So I just wanted to say hello to Jennifer Gerard, Dougie Fresh, John Bryan. Who else is here? My goodness gracious, we have quite a few people here. We have William Alicia. We have Michael Davis. I hope I'm not missing anybody. I might be missing some people. Gura Higgins. Who else we got? Who's Nathan Costa from Brazil? Hello. Oh, awesome. All the way from Brazil. And of course, our boy John Bryan. I think Big Ray has been doing Stevie Rich's Fitness. I'm gonna pull this out. Let me see. I don't know if I can get the guns. This right here doesn't fit. This used to be, freaking baggy on me here. I don't know what's going on over here, man.
Well, I'll say, it's just great that we're getting so many people involved in chat. Big Ray, it's just not your show. It's just not my show. It's all of our show. That's why we go live here. We want to make this one of the most interactive features here on One Wrestling, not just on One Wrestling, but anywhere in any professional wrestling circles. We love interacting with all the other fans out there. So anyway, let's get back to let's just start talking about the women's Money in the Bank match on Raw. They open it up in the ring. We've got the the Fatal 4-Way, we've got Bliss, Natalya, Ember Moon, and Sasha Banks, obviously squaring off. The biggest note here, which was absolutely hilarious, is that they have switched the injured leg of Natalya. Did you pick up on this?
Wait, say it again. I'm sorry. I'm paying attention to the chat. I'm such a douche.
Last week, when Natalya obviously had the injury in the match with Nia Jax, it caused the tension between more tension between Ronda and Jax. She had injured her right leg.
She did.
And now in this segment here this week, her left leg is taped up, and that's the one she is favoring during this entire match.
So what you're saying is that they weren't consistent with the injury. So last week it was the right leg. This week it's the left leg. So now during the Money in the Bank, what is it going to be? An arm, maybe the back, maybe she'll wear a neck brace to the match. Is that what you're telling me, Rick?
That's something to say. If what it really breaks down to is they figured out sometime during the week the story going forward is probably that they need her strong leg to give out, and that left leg is the main factor when she puts on that sharpshooter. That's the main to give the leverage there.
That is a really intuitive point, Rick. I guess that's why you are who you are, my friend.
I was going to say that not that the match was necessarily that bad. It is. You've seen this over and over. Sasha gets her spots in. Moo was a little bit reckless, hitting some spots maybe not necessary here. But everything was just kind of overshadowed by them, like just the lazy logic behind the injury spot.
I got to tell you something, man. Maybe it's just me, and I reached out to our buddy Ben Hameen over at the Hummy Media, y'all. But I felt that Ember Moon seemed to be a bit outclassed here during this match. I felt that she really looked green out of the girls. I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler. The girl's electric when at times in the ring, and she worked really well in NXT. But this is a different level here, and I saw her make a lot of mistakes. And you know what? Look, guys, you're gonna make mistakes. It's pro wrestling. Nothing is. It is predetermined, but it's not really choreographed, guys. This is not a dance. But like they always say in professional wrestling, this ain't ballet. But the fact of the matter is that this young lady seemed to be a little not herself. Maybe she has an injury. Maybe she's really nervous going into her first really major pay-per-view in the WWE. What do you think, buddy?
Well, you were talking about the differences between NXT and when you move to the red or the blue brands. In NXT, you have quite a bit of time. You're spending a lot of time at the Performance Center. You're working with the same people. You're kind of running through your routines regularly, as opposed when you get to Raw or SmackDown, where you're out on the road having some different matchups at different times. And then you go to television where you're live. I mean, that's a completely different dynamic than what she's really used to. And you're right on the money there, Big Ray. It's something she's going to have to adjust to. And it did seem where I don't want to say it seemed like she was a step behind, but she was trying to find her pacing and where she belonged with the others that have been working, night in, night out for years now.
Well, really quickly, I have to stop you, Rick, because apparently I've been challenged here, Rick Vickrey.
What do we got?
Apparently, Mr. Andre Corbeil, my good brother, my Canadian compadre, my Can-Am brother from the north, is challenging me for this prestigious Puerto Rican title. Andre, if you want a piece of me, brother, you know where to find me. You have to take your little airplane. You got to jump in your little airplane. You got to fly that thing over to New York, and you got to come my way, because if you want to face me for this title, my friend, you're going to have to come to my hometown, all right? Nobody takes the Puerto Rican title away from me. I made that thing with Aiden. Anyway, I'm sorry, Rick.
I was going to say, no way that thing is going to that dump to the North Canada. I've got many issues with. They won't even let me in their country. I've got so many issues with them. So don't even get me started there. And you know what? Much like the challenge being laid down here, or not like the challenge being laid down, because Natalya goes over in this match representing Canada. We know that isn't going to happen for the Puerto Rican Championship, as Big Ray will retain and keep that stateside. Natalya goes over here strong. As I said, they're playing up that knee injury. Did this match do anything for you to get you more excited for potentially going into Sunday's big Money in the Bank match?
I asked again. I was messaging Ben, and I asked him a question. I said, "Do you think they gave away too much?" And and this was for both nights. And Ben said, "No, not really," because it was a kick-ass match. I thought the match was really good. to start the night off. And by the way, we have a question here, and don't let me forget about this. We have I am so terrible at following up here, but as I find the question, Mr. Richard Bain asked, how long do we think that Nia Jax is going to be champion? So let's answer that question in a brief second. But no, the match, listen, man, I think the opening matches, the opening and the main event on Raw did its job when it came to selling the pay-per-view. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid. It was everything in between. It was that crap sandwich in between. But other than that, man, I thought it was pretty decent. And just to answer your question, Mr. Bain, people think that Nia is going to drop this title to Ronda Rousey right off the bat. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not really sure about that. What do you think, Rick?
I was going to say, let's just shift this into the run here. I'm really interested to see how this plays out, as in I felt that they gave away so much by having Ronda put her in the armbar essentially so easily and forcing, Nia to essentially beg for mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the wrong time, the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
But, to go to Richard's question, right now I am leaning towards they are going to put this thing on Ronda. They have a lot of PR projects coming up. There's a lot of outside eyes on this business right now. You've got a lot going on for WWE business-wise outside of the programming and storylines where it makes sense to have that title. To have that title on Ronda, and especially, she goes into the UFC Hall of Fame, the first woman ever, and it just so happens at the time she's also your women's champion in WWE. There's a lot of PR that would back their decision to put that title on Ronda Rousey.
All right, I can see where you're coming from. It's just, in a situation like this, and by the way, they're asking me for Alexa Bliss's phone number. That's a phone number, my friends, that only I have. I will have this phone number. I will use this phone number as I please, as I wish, whenever I want. So no, I'm not going to give you the phone number. So that's number one. Number two, listen, I see where you're coming from with the whole PR thing. And of course they would, but Ronda Rousey doesn't need that title. And the fact that I would have booked this segment differently. Now, if Ronda Rousey's going to win that title, okay, then I would have had Nia Jax kind of power out of that armbar, power bomb her, throw her into the corner post, beat her up basically, and make it, that way when Ronda Rousey, or if Ronda Rousey were to take that title, there'd be some question. But here they, if let me tell you something, if they have Nia Jax tapping out during this segment and then she loses the belt on the pay-per-view, Nia Jax is done in my eyes, as a giant. So yeah, I see where you're coming from, but something is telling me that she's not going to take this title. She doesn't need it, by the way. She's Ronda freaking Rousey.
Well, I'm going to say, Ronda obviously doesn't need that championship. I would say that the championship needs her, and the company needs her as a champion right now, just for other business happenings that are going on. I actually think, we tend to overanalyze these things. Oh, Ronda got the armbar in here. Nia tapped very easy, or was begging for mercy. That's the way they're giving us that. So we're going to overthink and think, so somehow Nia's going to win on Sunday. I think that could just be a swerve again on their behalf, thinking that we're kind of just writing this off, that Nia's going to walk out with this thing. I'm going to go 70-30 that Ronda wins this thing here.
I don't know, man. 70-30. For me, it's a crapshoot, dude. I think it's 50-50 right now. But everybody, Andre made a good point here. He's in the chat room, and he was saying, in the UFC, he feels that Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey pretty much, if I'm reading this correctly, wouldn't have a chance against a woman like Nia Jax. But listen, size really doesn't matter when it comes to fighting, man. I've seen very, very, very skilled small guys beat up skilled big guys. It happens. So size really doesn't matter when it comes to fighting. Maybe it matters to Andre Corbio. Andre is a big size queen. But other than that, it's not really important in the world of professional wrestling, as you see AJ Styles being one of the most dominant WWE champions they've had in quite some time. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's a good note to close it on. Let's kick it over to the Blue brand, what they've got going on with their women's division, especially the women's Money in the Bank match. They opened up their show as well. We had the women's summit. We had the 4 competitors along with Paige in there. Not really much to write home about here, just a little bickering between the competitors. But what we do get set up at this time was a big 8-woman tag, which would be all 4 competitors from the women's Money in the Bank match representing SmackDown, taking on the outsiders, those that were left out, and that would be the remaining members of Absolution with the Iconics.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually on the show, we get added to this match, making it a big 10-person tag match. You have Carmella join Absolution and the Iconics, and Asuka joins our Money in the Bank women for a big, what they were selling off as the biggest women's tag match in SmackDown Live history. That was our big main event there. What'd you make of everything from the women's side on the Blue brand? Or did they hold up to hype up Money in the Bank for you?
I thought they did a good job. Let me tell you something, man. I am just absolutely frightened for Lana. I think Lana is God protect her. Let us all here in the chat say a prayer to whatever the God you worship or whatever you believe in, because that girl couldn't take a bump out of the ring. She almost killed herself. She almost got caught in the ropes as she was getting tossed out of the ring, and it looked so dangerous.
What was that? I believe that was like her only interaction in this match, wasn't it? Was breaking up the pin on Asuka, and then she was tossed from the ring.
No, she got. I mean, she did her thing in the match, dude. I mean, it's just. I mean, she's gotten better. I'm not saying but she still has a long way to go. Lana needs to be in NXT for like another year, dude, before they even give her the opportunity to be on this roster. But she's Lana, and she's married to Rusev Day, who is one of the most over things in the world of the WWE or the universe of the WWE or whatever. So it is what it is, man. But I think the girls did a decent job on SmackDown. I think they did their job, and this was pretty solid. I just didn't like. I don't know, man. Maybe I find it corny, but that whole BS when they're standing under the briefcase and everybody's looking up at the briefcase like it's the freaking Hope Diamond or like Jesus Christ himself is floating down from space. Come on, seriously. It's ridiculous for me. I'll tell you what, if I was Asuka, while them chicks are looking up, and I would kick each and every one of their throat. You ever seen Chun-Li from Street Fighter? This spinning flying kick. I would have gave her one of those things. I'm just saying.
Well, you kind of brought up, that's what kind of closed the show. They all realized, hey, we're all going for that case, and then we're going to we might have to be targeting Asuka. What really got me in it, which I can't stand, was the moment just before that where they all embrace and they're all standing there holding their arms high. And especially when Asuka gets involved with something like that, drives me completely crazy. I mean, like you said, she should just be that vicious warrior on her own at all times. I thought the ladies that are going to be representing SmackDown heading into the Money in the Bank match, they look good. Speaking of looking good, she looked, as always, looks amazing. My precious Charlotte Flair. But it does pain me. I have to knock her a little bit here. She needs to lay off the moonsault spot.
You think?
Every week we're getting 2 or 3 of them a match. That they're unnecessary. They're dangerous. She's going to end up in a bad spot. Less is more with it.
Let me tell you something, Brick. Let me tell you something, brother. Charlotte's going to blow out her freaking knee if she's doing that day in and day out. And if she's doing house shows, I'm sure she's probably doing that there in house shows as well. So,
especially when she's doing it out onto the floor.
Yeah.
I don't trust most of these girls to be able to catch her and protect her properly. Especially. She's a lot bigger than all the other competitors in that division. So they're putting, a lot of weight on the shoulders of those other girls. And I believe it was Deville that caught her today, and she was the only one there for the spot. Something could have gone wrong, as you said. She's got to watch that knee.
Absolutely. And Charlotte is, my God, when you have a match, you have all these really elite female competitors in the ring, like a Charlotte, like an Asuka. Or like a Becky Lynch. I think she's up there with them. I think she's so good, and she's got a lot cuter. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But then you see a girl like Lana in that damn match, man, and it's just I really get frightened for her, man. I just hope all goes well during that match. And yes, I agree. Wait, who was this here? I do agree with Mr. Dougie Fresh that this chat is wonderful. Yes.
There we go. I guess the big finish of this match. We were just talking about on the Raw side of things. Did they give away too much with Ronda putting the armbar on Jax? Well, here we kind of get a similar finish. We've got the challenger getting the champ to tap. Are we going to see this again here, or is this one of those? Okay, we've seen it here now. Carmella's going to figure out a way to survive yet again.
I don't know. It's a good question, Rick. And unfortunately, this isn't booking pro wrestling booking 101. These are people that more than likely, write for very cheesy telenovelas or write for very terrible midday. What do you call those things? Soap operas. So I don't know how they're going to try to book this match, but you got Carmella tapping out. More than likely, listen, I don't think Asuka's going to win this thing.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Asuka's going to win this thing. Now, if we're talking about, again, SmackDown and Raw, I'm starting to really lean on Becky Lynch, dude, taking this freaking briefcase, dude. I think Becky Lynch has gotten over, even though Naomi gets a huge pop. If they put this thing in Lana's hand, I'm going to put my head through the television, Rick.
I think that they've realized, it's turned out to work out great for them, but they were it seemed like they didn't really know what to do with Carmella for the longest time with that case. It's working out now for them. I just don't really see them going the route of giving that to Lana. Although I think it would be kind of cool to have the Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank walking around if Rusev was able to grab that thing. But yeah, that novelty would wear off very quickly with me. I just don't see where they're going to go there. And I think this thing could really be any women's game. But speaking back to Carmella here, so many of us, and I was guilty of this as well. I'm starting to come around on this. That we thought she was going to be a transition champion. They didn't really know what to do with the case. They had to do the cash in. I really think going forward here now, they're looking at more of a marketing side point. That we've run the gauntlet of everything they can really do with the women's revolution to the evolution, where it's about how athletic they are. They're just as equal as the men. I'm sorry. The reality of it is sex still sells in this business for the men and the women. You want to have attractive people. You want to have people that you can cross over into other platforms. And Carmella could be one of your next Nikki Bellas. That's what I think that they're seeing right now.
I'm sorry, Rick. I just popped right now because our boy, I Kill You with One Punch says, why my boy got a car grill on his wall?
What?
You got a car grill on your wall behind you.
I do. I travel. I travel quite a bit for work. So where I'm staying at here, this was the decor where I am at. So
that's awesome. Yeah, man. I thought she would be a transitional champ. By the way, did she get like lip gimmicks or something, or those things always look like that?
I think they have. She's just been using them a lot more. And I mean on the microphone. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So keep your mind out of the car grill.
Sorry, brother. Please.
There we go. So I think I think they're looking at they're giving her that test run here. If she can cross over into other forms of PR for the company, they're looking for their next Nikki Bella, and it's either, I think that in their mind it's either going to be Carmella or eventually Mandy Rose.
Wait, hold on. You think it's going to be Carmella or Mandy Rose to?
You want somebody that you can totally sell that sex appeal to. They can go over to other platforms where they stand out, that people want to come over and check out what's going on, and that they're halfway decent in the ring.
Mandy Rose. No.
Eventually, they want to get there with her. Look how they are booking her. Look how they are handling her. She is looking strong here over the last 6 weeks. She is beautiful. She's the second coming of a Trish Stratus. I just, if you listen to anyone that's talked about being around Vince McMahon, how the minds work in the back there, they're probably going crazy over her.
Well, you're saying that eventually they want to get there with Mandy Rose. I'm sure many of the guys in this chat have gotten there watching Mandy Rose on TV, but neither here nor there. Mandy Rose is beautiful, dude. She is like, I'm not into blondes, not a big fan, but she is wow. She's really beautiful, really attractive. Still needs another year and a half, man, of seasoning before. I mean, she could be, who knows? She could be the next freaking Trish Stratus. I don't know.
I was going to say, she's only been in this business a couple years. You got to give her a little more time, but eventually she'll get there. But, Ray, let's move along here. Let's kick it over to the men's Money in the Bank match. As you had mentioned a little bit earlier, back on Raw here, we close out the show with the big fatal four-way. This thing was kind of all over. Kevin Owens kind of gets Rude and Balor on his side. Not on his side, but in agreement that they need to work together if they're going to take out the monster. We kind of see them do that. And then they eventually, it looks like each of them maybe is going to possibly get the pin. In the end, Braun once again overcomes all the odds. He is standing strong. What does this match do for you, brother?
This match confirmed what I've been thinking the entire time, that Braun Strowman will not win the Money in the Bank. He will not take the Money in the Bank. I'm starting really. I want to hear what the chat says. Listen to what I'm saying here, guys. Okay, I really, really think that Finn Balor is gonna freaking win this thing. I think Finn Balor is gonna take that briefcase, and whomever it is. You know, I think, hey, listen, just because Braun Strowman doesn't have the briefcase doesn't mean he's not going to be in a program with Brock Lesnar. You can build him into a program going into SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar, and guess who has that case, guys? Guess who has that case? Finn Balor. And what better way for Finn Balor to take out a beast or either beast, either Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman, than cashing in the Money in the Bank. I think this kid's gonna take that title, guys. We have who is this here? X-Lab, Big Ray's voice. Just wait, is like Jim Ross and Vince Scully combined. Wow, thank you.
I'm going to tell you what a great transition as we kick it over to the Smackdown side of the conversation for the men's Money in the Bank match. I have to stooge this off. I have it on good authority. We did learn on SmackDown that The Miz is going to be starring in an upcoming a blockbuster called Rough Ref, where he trains a dog to become a WWE official, and that pup is actually going to go on to officiate the main event at WrestleMania. We have it on good authority. We can break the news here. That Big Ray is actually going to be voicing that puppy in that movie alongside The Miz.
Listen, man, right now I'm typing. I can't control the camera. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me just click over to myself over here.
So Ray,
what the hell are you talking about?
As the agent got a hold of you, The Miz is going to be starring in Rough Ref. It's an upcoming film where The Miz trains a dog to become a WWE official. And we've heard that you're going to be the voice of the dog.
No, I no. If anything, I do a pretty mean Shaggy. I don't think I can do a Scooby Doo that well. I can do a pretty mean Shaggy. You want to hear it?
Oh, let's have it. Let's have it.
Like Zoink Scoop. No.
There we go for you. One wrestling video. There we go. Drop in from Shaggy. So anyway, on SmackDown, their hype for the Money in the Bank match essentially is Miz as a guest referee. He's trying to get a little revenge on Rusev and Samoa Joe for them turning on him last week. The match, I don't know. I guess it was a good, solid. I mean, what does this thing go? Maybe 5-7 minutes. It got its spots in. Joe again looked amazing. Rusev comes up. He gets a kind of given the win. Miz steals the spotlight. Then the thing just completely fell apart for me again because you insert New Day and it turns into a comedy act, and we find that the case is filled with pancakes. I have to give credit to Seth Kennedy over in the Hami Media discussion group. He absolutely called this yesterday in a conversation.
So he called. Now listen.
He actually called someone is going to get the case and open it and reveal that the contract has been removed and the case is filled with pancakes.
I got you. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just an old man here. By the way, I'm not doing my Bill Cosby. This is neither the place or time to do Bill Cosby. I'm not gonna do Bill Cosby. Anyway, I'm not gonna do it. But anyway, dude, maybe it's just me. But why is WWE wasting all this food? Tacos last week. I mean, perfectly good tacos, perfectly good hot dogs the week before. Hot dogs and why are they wasting all this food, dude? And now this, and then what is it this week? What did they get rid of this week?
Well, again, it's got the whole case of pancakes. How many pancakes have been wasted during this New Day run?
Terrible. How many homeless people you think are sleeping around those arenas? Dude, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a douche, man, when I say this, but WWE, stop wasting food, dude. Whatever. It is what it is.
So just real quick to wrap up here before we move on to the rest of the card, some of the other big matches going on. So you've got Finn walking out with the men's briefcase, correct?
Yes, sir.
Who you got on the women's side? Just real quick.
Well, I have Alexa Bliss's phone number. Anyway, let me see. On the women's side, well, Bayley really was made to be looked. I don't know, man.
Well, Bayley's not in the match, so
I know. She's not in the match. I just wanted to throw out that girl is done. That is terrible, man. She's just an enhancement talent right now, and neither here nor there. Dude, I think it's going to be Becky Lynch. I just see something. There's something different about Becky Lynch. I don't know what it is, but I think Becky Lynch is they're about to get ready to push that girl to that next level, bro. So I'm going to say Becky Lynch. I definitely could see it. I know on either side, I can make arguments for anyone going forward to win this thing, except for Braun Strowman. So I'm hoping both matches are a lot of fun. So let's move it on down the card here. Big Ray, we've got a last man standing WWE Championship match. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. For me, I'm hoping this thing finally comes to an end. I mean, we've essentially been drawing this thing out since the Royal Rumble. I know it kind of went on hiatus, then picked up steam again at WrestleMania. This thing is, essentially, we've been on 6 months between these two, ready for it to come to an end. I'm hoping with the stipulation, I don't think these two need it. It might even hamper what they can actually go out there and do, but I'm hoping it's a lot of fun and we can finally put this thing to bed. Well, how many testicles have to suffer, Rick? How many testicles have to suffer the forearm of Shinsuke Nakamura? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Are you more concerned about pancakes or testicles?
Well, first and foremost, I love food. I'm a big food guy. Don't like testicles much. I like my own. So I would say I'm more concerned with pancakes.
He's a pro pancake guy. Well, on the show, we get AJ cutting a promo out in front of the crowd. He's out there. They're getting a little hometown pop with the King. He comes out and says the only thing he's apologizing for is with the slap last week is that he didn't hit him with a closed fist. On Shinsuke's side, he's out there working a first time ever, as you brought up. One of the matches that was kind of exciting on this show. He's out there with Jeff Hardy. He ends up getting the DQ as he low blows the U.S. champ. Then leads us in the 10 count to just kind of hyping up that last man standing gimmick.
So now we got broken balls. Is that what you're telling me? Are they woken balls or broken balls? Right now they're broken balls.
We got broken balls on the blue brand.
Broken blue balls. Anyone?
Broken blue balls. Smackdown Live for you. I was really happy that the way they ended that match. I didn't want to see the U.S. champ taking a pin. And, Hardy looked good in this thing. He looked like he could still hang with the main eventers. Maybe it made Nakamura look a little too weak, but, he is in there with one of the WWE's, regarded as one of their greatest. They've really been putting over Jeff because he has the new special coming up, which is going to actually air after Money in the Bank. So they were hyping that. I just don't know if this go home really did anything to get me more fired up or invested in this championship match.
I got to tell you something, man. All these shenanigans with the nut shots and everything over the last couple of weeks. All right, first I'll say this. I enjoy Shinsuke Nakamura so much more as a bad guy. But then again, when I watched him at New Japan Pro Wrestling, he was a bad guy. And that's what I knew him to be. I knew when he was coming to WWE, they weren't going to make him a bad guy. But I'm digging this whole crazy Shinsuke Nakamura. When you do something over and over and over again, and this is what WWE does. I think we've mentioned this here before. What am I talking about? Titus O'Neil falls, slides under the ring. What do? Next night, slides on, falls off the ring apron, right? You got the B team. They win their tag team match. They jump all over each other. They celebrate like they won the freaking World Series. And they do that like 5 weeks in a row. Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy. Yes, whoa, yes, whoa, yes. For freaking weeks. They do that all the time. And it is so freaking annoying. So yes, it's the same thing with the nut shot here, nut shot there, nut shot everywhere. Every single week, it's getting silly, repetitive. A couple of weeks ago, me and Ben Hameen were saying that there's a good possibility that AJ Styles is going to end up wearing a freaking cup, and I think this is going to be it. I think Shinsuke goes for the nut shot. AJ has a freaking cup, or one of those steel cups, like those old school steel cups in his pants. Shinsuke hurts his forearm. I don't know, dude. Then maybe AJ Styles goes over with a cup to the face. I don't know, man.
I know you guys have great minds for the business. I hope that doesn't happen. It seems like something they will pull. That just seems so cheesy to me. We got a request for the spin. We got a request for
Hold on. I got to do it live here. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Here you go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Title is spinning for you, my friend. This is for you. This is for XL Abe. Thank you, sir. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There we go. As we're moving down here, let's keep going with some the championship themes. Well, let's talk about the tag division. Let me ask you something here. I've got the official match card in front of me. I have not seen the B team versus the Deleters of Worlds. Has that officially been announced for this show, or are they going to save that for television?
Yes, it has been officially made. Yes, I think the match is official. They will be facing them at Money in the Bank. It will be the broken Bray Wyatt and broken Hardy, whatever the hell they call them. So broken Bray and Woken Matt versus the B team. And don't be surprised. I would love to hear what Billy Ray Valentine and Professor have to say with this. I wouldn't be totally surprised if the B team wins. But I don't think they're going to be the tag team to take the titles off of the broken ones.
Here's what I'm going to go with. This entire program, I'm not really invested. I love the B team. They were one of my guilty pleasures. I think you give those guys an inch, they take a mile. Just the subtleties. They're so good at what they do. They fill their roles perfectly. As I'm sitting here looking, I'm looking at the official match card. It's not listed here. I'm actually hoping that they are saving this thing, because I am going to be devastated if at some point the B team does not take a dip into the lake of reincarnation and emerge as Mr. Perfect in IRS. That's why I would save this for a special occasion on Raw instead of doing this here at Money in the Bank. But a tag championship match that we do know is happening is over on the blue brand. That would be the Smackdown Tag Championship. The Bludgeon Brothers, they're going to be defending against Gallows and Anderson. Pretty much the only build we got on this go home this evening for this one is that we learned through a graphic that it's going to be on the pre-show.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought there, Big Ray. A big giant yawn. Really very little build of anything of little interest here.
Yeah, I don't think Gallows and Anderson win the titles, even though they were the most dominant tag team in the world for the last 5 years over in Japan, but just dominant tag teams. Hey, real quickly, back over to the red brand. What happened to Akam and Stakem, the two the Acolyte guys? What do you call them? The two Road Warrior wannabes, the big Dominican kids.
Oh, the Ascension? Oh no, the AOP.
Yeah, those guys. They're not.
They are out of sight, out of mind right now. And I guess the big rumor is that they're going to eventually be brought out and maybe not completely repackaged, but they're going to be reintroduced in some sort of faction with Roman Reigns.
Are you serious?
That's the big rumor right now. Either that or they just have no idea what to do with these guys. I mean, you got two big groups that could.
How do you not know what to do with two giant guys that can fight? Seriously, those guys look crazy, dude. Number one, I would have never taken Paul Ellering away from those two guys. Paul Ellering, I don't know, man. That was just dumb. These guys cannot talk. They cut promos. They get blown up cutting promos. Did you notice that, Rick? They get tired cutting promos.
It's the same with Nia Jax. You know, she blows up after like 90 seconds of a promo. These guys needed that voice, someone to really hype them up, take them to the next level. You know, I was just talking about maybe they don't even know what to do with them right now. I'll tell you what, I take my money right now to put them in a program against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I mean, that would be some legit badass just throw down action right there.
Let me tell you something. Wait, Ziggler and Gimmick Jones, and what's his name?
McIntyre.
McIntyre. They're on Raw, right?
They're on Raw, correct, and they are vicious right now. They bring the intensity. They have stardom written all over them, especially Drew. If they could be against the AOP right now, people would be tuning in. I understand maybe you don't want to give that away right now, or maybe one can't take a loss, but just suck it up. Give us something exciting.
I'll tell you what, those are your next tag team champions right there. And man, I was a fan of Drew McIntyre when he was, believe it or not, I liked Drew McIntyre when he was the IC champ, but there was just something missing. It was probably a beard. But anyway, when he went to TNA, when he was wrestling on the Indies, I was following him. I was continuing to follow him. And again, I watched a lot of TNA or Impact Wrestling. TNA doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I was following him there, and I thought he did a really good job as the world champion. Comes over to NXT, kicks ass, comes into the main roster, and the guy just looks like a freaking megastar. This guy looks like a world. Now, I would say he looks like a world champion. He does well. The guy can cut a decent promo. Doesn't need to talk much. Dolph Ziggler, dude, this revitalized his career, this tag team. I got to tell you, man, this is some good shit, dude. Good stuff, and I really hope moving forward that if there's anyone to take those titles, it's got to be these two guys, man. Or if not, that's not going to happen, then have Drew Galloway go off on his own and be that future world heavyweight champion.
Well, it looks like the gimmick they're running with them, or the angle they're going to run with them now, is they are going to climb their way through the division by just decimating everyone until they get to the champions. So I'm looking at, possibly we could see them in a championship program going into SummerSlam. But like you said, where is the AOP? Are they going to go with Roman, or are you just you don't know what to do with them? Let's get these teams out here. Let's get the intensity back. Let's get some guys that can throw down. Speaking of Roman, though, he's a big guy. He can throw down. He's taking on another big guy, a former WWE champion in Jinder Mahal. Big singles match set for Money in the Bank. This week, Jinder throws out a challenge to Roman. He wants him in the ring. The challenge ends up being a little bit of a tease where he tries to present maybe it's the Great Khali. It ends up being just one of the Singh brothers. A real quick blow off. Not really too much of the segment, just so that Jinder can get a cheap shot in later. I could just tell by the look on your face, your reaction, and then talking to you before we got on the air here. I think of any, I'm asking if this helped anything. How much did the interaction between these two on Monday hurt this program?
Oh, it hurt us so bad, dude. You have a guy that for some reason, I don't know what the WWE is doing with Roman Reigns. I don't get it. Somebody explain this to me. Somebody in the chat explain this to me, guys. I don't understand. Why are you going to put him in a match with a little helpless nobody? And then you expect the fans to freaking cheer him? Oh, yeah, he's beating up on this guy that's like the size of his thigh. No. That was so dumb, so wrong. Yeah, please bring in the what do you call them? The AOP. Bring those guys in. Have them tag team with No Way Jose and freaking Roman Reigns to make the whole Dominican. They're Dominican, right? The whole Dominican. Samoan? Is that the same?
I'm not even going to touch that one.
I'm Puerto Rican. I'm just asking.
I was going to say. I was just going to say. Can I just call you Samoan then?
Wait. Say it again.
Aren't you guys all the same? Is that what you just said? Dominican, Puerto Rican, Samoan.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, sir. Can we please move on?
Yes. Let's fast forward here. Do we have anything else on Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here's the big question. Any chance this closes the show on Sunday?
Shut up.
I'm just checking. I know people are throwing that out there that they would close the show with this.
Close the show with what? With who? With Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal?
Yeah. I'm just messing with you. That was one of those early rumors that were running around that had everyone flipping out in the internet world. So, we were talking about going backwards with the interaction here between Mahal and Reigns. Another segment here that actually took what has been a dismal and just a disappointing program so far, took a step backwards. And I'm talking about Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, and they had their obstacle course going on this week.
I don't want to spend time on this. What a waste of time. Listen, guys. I mean, first and foremost, you spent 20 minutes setting the damn thing up. And by the way, that stupid wall that Bobby Lashley almost broke his neck on because it was wobbly as all hell.
Was that the last one?
Yeah, that stupid wall.
They had a name for it, like Big Jessica or something like that.
Whatever. I dated the girl named Big Jessica back in junior high school. Anyway, listen, man, this was silly. I knew it was going to happen. The guy was going to go do his thing and then get attacked by Sami Zayn. Really? You had to do an obstacle course for that? I don't know, man. I'm trying to be positive here. I really am, Rick. I'm trying to accentuate the positives. All right, let's think of a positive here. Bobby Lashley is really awesome, and he climbs one hell of a rope. That's about it. What's his name? El Generico is freaking awesome at being annoying. What else you got, Rick? You got something to sell me on?
Well, the biggest letdown in this entire program here is the attitude being presented through Bobby Lashley. I mean, at no point is he really being over the top serious. We're not getting the MMA, just the vicious animal that we've become accustomed to. When he was carrying Impact Wrestling on his shoulders, we thought that was going to transition, over to WWE upon his return. We haven't gotten any of that. Now he's just kind of that happy-go-lucky guy. And I guess we're all just supposed to sit back and enjoy it and wait for him to turn it on come Sunday at Money in the Bank. It's going to be a huge disappointment for me if he doesn't go out and kill Sammy in about 30 seconds on Sunday.
Listen, in the words of Abe XL, who's in the chat room, he said that Drew McIntyre greater than Drew Galloway greater than Drew McIntyre, whatever the hell their names were. I got to tell you, TNA Bobby Lashley greater than WWE Bobby Lashley. This has been the biggest debacle I've ever seen when booking somebody. Again, we've said this 1,000 times, and I'm not going to get into this and get into a whole philosophical conversation or debate over why WWE cannot find a way of booking a good black role model, a good male black role model. I don't know. I don't get it. What, you got to put a chain around the guy's neck and have him bark like a dog? Is that going to get him over? It's ridiculous. It's stupid. This guy is a world beater. This guy should be with fighting a Brock Lesnar. It really heats me up, man. I really can't stand this. And this Bobby Lashley is fighting freaking El Generico? He's El Generico to me, all right, guys? Sami Zayn? Seriously?
I can picture somewhere like steam coming out of Jim Cornette's ears. That you have a guy like Bobby Lashley wasting his time with somebody like Sami Zayn. But as you said, I mean, what a great role model he could have been built up. Not just not for the African American community, for everyone. I mean, this guy represents what you need, what you want to be in a great person. All the hard work, dedication, all the achievements, all the success, dedication to his country. They have everything in the making there. But he's just kind of come out. He's just laughing off things. He's not really taking anything serious, and he's involved in these just like bottom of the cellar programs. Hopefully they can get it right before it is too late. We got two more big matches to cover here and talk about how they played out on the go home. Let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship, Ray. What'd you think about the segment? Once again, Elias comes out, tops himself once again. Another great performance.
Oh, he's great.
Another great performance. Seth obviously comes out, interrupts. Seth, arguably the hottest act going in WWE today. The fans absolutely loving. The WWE Universe is hot for this program.
Wow. Yeah, Seth Rollins. I don't know where the hell did you come from? He's really doing a great job, man. First and foremost, I got to say this. Elias, he had the crowd every week, just has the crowd in the palm of his hand. Very, very entertaining guy. The guy is super talented. I forgot who said it, but I'll just steal something from one of the podcasts we listened to this week, where Elias has that very rare ability to just kind of do one big crazy eye and just control the crowd with that one big crazy eye and have them go nuts, boo, cheer, walk with Elias, has everybody cheering with him like it's like his freaking Attitude Era. Beautiful stuff, man. And Seth Rollins you're right, Rick. He is the most popular thing on WWE TV. And you know what? The guy has I don't believe in that whole you deserve the BS. He's earned it. He's worked his way into that position. He's doing some fine work. Seems like he gives a damn. And I think this is going to be a great feud for the IC title. Even though I hope that they do put Elias over, and I hope that he takes the title. That's the guy I'm rooting for, at least. I don't know if he's going to win, but that's the guy I'm rooting for.
I would say I think going forward, this could be a hot program. I hope we get a somewhat of an extensive run out of this thing. Of course, the big rumor is that Seth is now become the chosen one that's going to take that championship off of Brock at SummerSlam. So maybe we have a nice little transition feud here that helps elevate Elias. I do have one issue with Elias. As you mentioned, when he does the walk with Elias, what does WWE stand for? The whole arena comes alive with him. If you really want to represent him as one of your top heels, get rid of the crowd interaction. He comes out and just dumps all over whatever city he's in. He's mocking them. He's telling them how much of scum they are.
They are scum.
And then they turn around and chant with him. That's something I just don't get. Back in the day, somebody comes to your hometown. Someone comes to New York and starts bad-mouthing the New Yorkers. I mean, you guys are going to riot. And then, you have these, now they're chanting with them. I would get rid of that that's nitpicking just to really confirm that he is a heel there. But this guy is hot, like you said. He is doing it right. An OVW guy, Rip Rogers guy. These two are the two of the hottest acts in the entire company.
Let me just compliment, and let me just go on what you were saying there. I remember when I was a kid, and Ravishing Rick Rude would come into your hometown, okay, and he would look into the camera, and Rick Rude would say, "I would like right now for all you New York City sweat hogs to please shut up while your ladies keep
the noise down while I take off my robe.
While I take off my robe and show with the ladies." I'm gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna do that right now. It's not good. Not good. Sorry, you can take it over.
Yeah, but people weren't chanting along with that. It's just one of those little subtle touches that I would pull back on. But again, I'm hoping that these guys go out there and put on a great performance. And it is a program that I'd like to see going forward. What'd you think about the guitar spot, stomping on his new prized possession guitar? Is this something that you would have maybe seen saved for the pay-per-view, or was it okay on the go home?
It was okay. I think it was good for the go home. It was good for the go home. Got a good reaction from the crowd. The guitar looked great. I think it was fine, dude. This is my favorite. It's my favorite feud. This is one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most, and I think this is going to be a really great match. And I'm looking forward to see what Elias can do with a ring general like Seth Rollins, if he can take command, because we haven't seen him in the ring with anyone quite like Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm just hoping maybe that Rollins adds a few new wrinkles here. I've been kind of hard on him over the last couple of weeks. The paint by numbers Rollins, false finish Rollins. I'm hoping we get some new wrinkles in the match. But hey, I got to tell you, the build here, I'm interested. I'm invested. As I look at this card, this is one of the matches that I'll be tuning in for. We were mentioning both of those guys are top superstars in the company. Let's talk about, another top superstar who's been one of the top superstars for the last 5 years. That would be Daniel Bryan. The little dog, the little man, is taking on Big Cass in this one. In our build here, we get another. I don't know. I don't even know how I could describe this thing. We get another promo from Cass. Pretty pitiful in his delivery again. At least this time they took it backstage, where he could probably make a couple cuts on it and they could get the best out of him. He's cutting the promo there, and we've got Bryan out in the ring just doing what he does. And a match that I definitely perked up for. I was very excited to see. Daniel Bryan versus Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, me too. And it was good. Shelton Benjamin's great. But he's on the way out, I think. I don't think WWE has anything for this guy.
Well, I think that's his role right now. Go out there and work some great matches.
Sure, why not?
Give us some great TV time and cash a big check.
You know what? Have him go down to NXT. Have him put over some of that young talent like Cassius Ohno is doing right now. Have him work with those guys. Yeah, Cass is terrible on the microphone. So
did you pop it all for the roller coaster? You must be this tall.
No.
I mean, is this the bigger guy is better than the smaller guy doing anything really for you here?
No, it's not. It's stupid, dude. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Oh, dumb. Not a big fan of this whole thing. It doesn't, and by the way, all right, okay, I'm saying, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, what really killed me with this whole program is the moment that Cass tapped out in their first match. To me, it was dead in the water. There was no coming back. I know he's had the attacks on Bryan, physical and verbal. There was no getting any of that heat back. As soon as he tapped out in his first match, as big as he is to Daniel Bryan, I was done with this program.
Yeah, and now they're doing this whole gimmick where not only Big Cass's leg is hurt, so now Daniel Bryan's leg is hurt to give doubt as to if Daniel Bryan is going to possibly beat Big. If Daniel Bryan loses this match to Big Cass, he should quit wrestling. He's not going to lose this match. All right, I don't care if you're 7 feet tall. I don't care if you're 20 feet tall. He's just nothing. He's just a big guy, not very good, not charismatic. We now know that the real one, aka Enzo Amore, was the one writing all the freaking lines for him. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you can follow me on the gram at the real one.
Well, so if Big Cass loses here, I mean, where does he go? Can he bounce back at all? I mean, you're going to lose your first program where your whole gimmick is I'm bigger than everyone, and you just lost to one of the smallest guys in the company.
Well, Big Cass, he's kind of a sloppy jalopy, if you know what I'm saying. So, Big Cass, you're going to have to end up going to TNA or something like that eventually, because guess what? The real one's going to be rapping with 50 Cent, and you're going to be selling piraguas on the corner of Avenue D in Lower East Side Manhattan. How you doing?
I would say, how about Big Cass to 205 Live? Just go over and put over all that talent.
No.
As I'm sitting here, I'm looking through the notes. We were advertised Cien Almas versus Sin Cara. That didn't happen on this show on SmackDown tonight.
No, why would it? These two guys are awesome.
They advertised it all week, and then it got bumped. That was something I was really looking forward to. As we're sitting here talking, it just occurred to me. I mean, we were talking about lovely ladies. We're talking about individuals that are in the ring that are exciting that we're looking forward to. That's the package we need. We need Almas and Vega, and WWE took that from us.
Hey, Rick, real quick question, and I'm going to ask you: do you know what a piragua is?
I have no idea. What is it again?
Okay, because William Alcia, it's just a snow cone. In the cities, especially Manhattan, they have the big block of ice, and they shave the ice, and they put it in this little triangular like cup, and they.
I know what a snow cone is. Yes. Well,
it's called a piragua. They have cherry, and they have I like crema, which is cream, like a cream flavored, and they have all these delicious, amazing flavors. So we try that for the non-Spanish speaking fans, if you know what I'm saying. How you doing? Now, what were you asking me about this, sir?
I don't know what you see. We just call them snow cones or shaved ice. And here in the Midwest, we have all the different flavors. We don't probably get as fancy as you guys do up there, but.
I'm just going to spend that one more time. But were you asking me before we got into the whole snow cone thing? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just a little upset that it just occurred to me that we missed Vega and Almas on this show, especially Vega.
Oh yes. Wow. Yeah. And they were building that up last week. You know what? They'll probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like an opening match for the pay-per-view this week. Why not?
Well, I'm going to say we've already got 10 matches listed for this event, so it might get bumped to television next week. But Big Ray, we've talked about all the matches. We hit what they did on the go home. Are we invested? Are we moving forward? Give me your overall expectations, thoughts. Are you excited for the show on Sunday?
I always go into each pay-per-view with relatively good expectations. I've noticed this with the WWE, when the build to the pay-per-view isn't that great, the pay-per-view is actually always pretty darn good. So I don't think the build has been that spectacular moving into the Money in the Bank. But listen, it's Money in the Bank. It's ladders. It's a ladders match. You're gonna have the women. You're gonna have the men. I don't know how that cannot be entertaining. Then you have a tag team championship. You have 2 tag team championship matches with four really good teams. Then you have a really solid Intercontinental Championship match. You have a match between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, which should be really, really good. Last man standing. So all in all, this pay-per-view has a lot of potential. On paper, this could be an 8. Who knows? Could be a 5.
I was going to say, you got some high expectations there. I'm going in, the last couple of weeks of programming have kind of been down. We've been kind of sour on the product. But going in, as you said, Money in the Bank, it is one of the majors. It's one of the big 5. I want to go into this Sunday. I'm going to approach this as almost like a Royal Rumble feel. Give me something big out of this event to start setting up for SummerSlam. Start getting me excited for that next big run that we're going to have here in the summer. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Monday morning we are buzzing about a couple big developments.
Te voy a decirte algo, Andre Corbillo. Yo soy campeón de Puerto Rico. You're nothing, my friend. You will never take this title from me. Believe that. Oh, somebody else says that. I'm sorry.
Dude, I mean, that was pretty intense, man. Pretty intense. I have no idea what you said. Was that about the snow cones again, or?
I was talking about the snow cones. No, I said I am the champion of Puerto Rico, and there is no way jabroni like Andre Corbillo will take this title from me. I've earned this title. I paid for the duct tape. I paid for the aluminum foil. I paid for the magic marker to paint the strap black. Me and my son toiled over this championship belt. Andre Corbillo, if you want this championship belt, you're going to have to pry it out of my dead, cold hands after eating a piragua.
Sounds like a match perfect for SummerSlam there in Brooklyn, my friend. A match perfect. It is getting heated in here. So before we go over the top, let me get my plugs in here, Big Ray, before I kick it over to you to get us out of here for the evening. Of course, all of our great listeners, they can find me across all social media at The Real RBV. Hey, it is going to be a big Money in the Bank and Takeover weekend. So make sure that you're joining us on Facebook and the Hameen Media discussion group. Make sure to be checking out our Pick'em Challenge. Essentially, you pick the winners. You share how confident you are in your selections, and you test your skills against 50 so or other of the greatest wrestling minds around the internet. Be sure to check out Michael JARGO and myself each and every Friday on the Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast at hittingthemarks.podbean.com. Big Ray, I'm going to kick it to you to get us out of here.
Well, listen, guys. I got to, first and foremost, just one more time for Mr. XL Abe. That goes a spin for you. Listen, guys, you can find me here at onewrestling.com, YouTube/OneWrestlingVideo, or just One Wrestling Video here on YouTube. Find me over at the Hameen Media discussion group. Go over to that Facebook group, guys. Check it out. It is really awesome, great interaction. Most of the guys that are on this chat right now, ladies and gentlemen, are from that group. So thank you guys for supporting us. The Impact Attack, the Pro Wrestling Reflection. By the way, this week, it's Father's Day, so, we're not going to be able to record a new podcast, but I'm going to have something special for you guys this weekend for the Pro Wrestling Reflection. Then the boys will definitely be back next week. What else we got going on? Don't forget, guys, you have Michael JARGO, who's going to be covering NXT this week. We have Matt Schaefer, who's going to be doing a lot of extensive Impact Wrestling coverage this week. Not only Impact Wrestling, but he's going to be covering the one night only pay-per-view. This is what he told me. He might do one show covering both. So look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Look out for the After Chats here with Bill After, the live After style magazine that he does here. So much stuff, guys. Hey, do me a favor, guys. If you don't know who I am, if you've never stumbled upon this here, give me a follow on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. All the links, everything is going to be right down here below, guys, in the description. All the links for my social media, for Mr. Rick Vickrey's social media. You can find us. It's very simple. At Big Ray's Show, at The Real RBV. Am I correct there, Rick?
You got it, brother.
Right. So thank you guys for joining us here. It is an absolute pleasure. And I was just asked, is wrestling fixed? I didn't know it was broken. Ladies and gentlemen, head over to Amazon or any bookstore, anywhere you go, guys, to get your awesome reading material. This is basically the life of the legendary Bill Apter in one book. And I'm talking about this guy's been in the business since the early 1970s. It talks about him as a little boy getting beat up, and him having his favorite wrestler, Buddy Rogers. I mean, it's just so much stuff. I mean, the fact that he brought Andy Kaufman into the world of professional wrestling. There's so much good stuff in that book, guys. Check it out. You can download the audio stuff also. It's really cool. I appreciate you guys so damn much. Rick, if you want to say something before I literally sign us off.
I would say before we get out of here, to make sure, to join us next week, we're going to be talking about all the big fallout from Money in the Bank. And hopefully, as I said, we're going to start gearing up for the summer, and the program's going to start picking up. Once again, thanks to everyone for joining us on your show.
Hey, put over your podcast and everything, man. The Monday Locker Room,
I got my stuff in there, man.
You sure you got your stuff in there?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure, man. All right. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, I appreciate it. William Alicia, thank you so much. XLA, it was nice meeting you, my friend. All the guys that are here, all the girls that are here, I appreciate you. Hey, listen, I say this every single week, and it's true. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, guys. I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I would do it anyway. Why? You may ask, because I love talking wrestling, and I love these chats. This is one of the most interactive chats. So come back next week. We will be here at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time here at One Wrestling Video. In the words of Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. And in the words of my brother Bill Schuyler up in heaven, we will see you down the road. Say goodbye, Rick.
Night all.
Night, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. And once this is up, please share it, tweet it out. I'll be putting it up on the One Wrestling Twitter and also on my Twitter. All right, guys? Love you so much, guys. God bless you. Peace.